It's Wednesday afternoon, and the new vlogging week begins, and it begins with housework. So I'm doing the kitchen floor because it's time. It is time. Just a little bit of hot water, water, however temperature it comes out, to be honest. Detergent of any kind. I use a little bit of hand wash just to give some soap. If it can be used on the hands, it can be used on the kitchen floor. I've had this mop and bucket for probably the best part of 20 years. I do the floor, I don't know, every couple of months, something like that. Doesn't get dirty, you know, because we don't wear shoes in the house. And, you know, in the summer we're mainly in bare feet, mainly. I have brushed and vacuumed, but you do occasionally get little bits hiding. Little fluffy bits and... yeah. What's that? Oh. So this floor is actually real terracotta. I think it's Mexican terracotta, something like that. I think it was Mexican rustic, antique terracotta or something ridiculous. It doesn't show the dirt at all. Yeah, we had the floor done before we had this kitchen put in, and I wanted natural terracotta because it's actually really warm to the touch. Nothing like ceramic at all. It's not cold like ceramic. And I also wanted the sort of higgledy-piggledy effect. I wanted it to look as though it had been here for centuries, you know, old. Very forgiving. I think people very often like really uniform finish. You don't get that with these terracotta tiles. You don't get a uniform finish at all. But they're pretty tough and will take pretty much anything that's thrown at them. Oh, there's another stray bit of debris, bit of onion skin. Yeah, they will pretty much take what's thrown at them. They were sealed when we had the guy to fit them. I sealed them all with a special sealant, and very occasionally I give them a clean with a, you know, proper terracotta product, but really they don't need it. Okay, a rinse with some fresh, and we're done. So I've done a few chores, cleaned the bathroom, cleaned this floor, as you saw, and now I'm cleaning rhubarb. I am. I've got a sink full of rhubarb. Have a look. There we go. Look at that. So I think most of this I'm going to stew, and I think some of it I'm going to turn into a crumble. Morning, we're at Kew. Paul's just gone to the loo. and it's trying to rain. So I'm hoping that we get around without having to shelter. Oh look, there's Paul. Did you notice the toilets weren't in a particularly good state this morning? I might have to complain to Kew about that. Or not. You can't help how disgusting the public are. So this morning's walk is specifically to see the carbon garden. Obviously we'll be looking at other things as well, but it's a new garden, so we're going to check it out and take you along for the ride. Hurrah, it's not very sunny. I don't know why we've both got sunglasses on. See you in a bit. Hello, welcome back to the kitchen. Rhubarb! We were gifted a huge amount of this lovely rhubarb by our neighbour. Thank you. It's very kind of them. And yesterday I washed it all, and with some of it I made some stewed rhubarb. Now I'm not going to show you how to make stewed rhubarb. It is exactly the same way as making a fruit compote. So you can go and have a look at this video and just imagine that I'm using rhubarb. Cut your fruit up in a pan, little bit of water, something to sweeten it, 10 minutes, you've got a compote or stewed rhubarb. But today I'm going to use some of that stewed rhubarb to make a fool. So, before the dessert police come for me, traditionally a fool is made with cream, sometimes combined with custard, loads of sugar, and sometimes they make the custard with egg, and then it's all folded together in a light whipped dessert. Well, actually a fool doesn't need to be that. A fool can be as simple as stewed fruit combined with yogurt, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm going to pop it into some pretty glasses and we're going to have that for our dessert. So I'll show you how simple it is. So here's the stewed rhubarb, and it was sweetened with honey. I've got a couple of glasses. I've got some Greek yogurt. It's, I think, full fat. I'm going to combine them in a bowl. Okay, so I'm going to put in about, I don't know, about 5 tablespoons of yogurt. And about 3 tablespoons of the stewed rhubarb. Another couple. Fold that in. Now I'm going to spoon the mixture into a lovely glass. And then top it with some more of the stewed rhubarb. And plenty of the juice. And there we are, rhubarb fool. I'm going to put these in the fridge and we will have them for our dessert. Morning, it's Sunday morning, and it's another beautiful day. Lovely sunshine, very still. Yeah, so I think it's going to warm up. Let me just think about the past couple of days. When did I last vlog? I've sort of taken a slight step back just for a couple of days. Not for any reason other than there have been a few other things I wanted to just get on with. One of them being music. It's been a while since I opened up the music program on the computer to have a little, I don't know, tinker with things. So I did yesterday, managed to do that because there were a few pieces that I was working on months and months ago. And I felt as though, sorry, I've got a bit low there. I felt as though I'd been focusing on video production, which of course is the right thing to do because that's how I'm earning my money. I keep on saying that, but it's true. But also I have to think about the things that play roles in supporting the videos. So that might be, little bits of music occasionally that are written by me and recorded by me. I tend to mix it up. I use some from the YouTube audio library, which are really good, I go through and I pick out my favourites, and I tend to use my favourites time and time again, simply because I like them, but I do like to use some of mine occasionally. So I'm working on a few pieces at the moment. Nothing exciting to see with that. It's just bars of data on a screen, I've showed it to you before anyway. Yeah, I've been doing that. I'm going to do more of that this morning. Paul's just gone down to the plot. I'm also sort of thinking about what I'm going to be bringing to you cookery-wise as well. One of the things I would really like to have a go at is the cacio e pepe, which is cheese and pepper pasta. There's been a bit of a furore going on about the recipes and how people are using things that the Italians would never dream of using, which is kind of untrue. Pretty sure the Italian cook uses whatever is to hand. I'd be really interested to do it the traditional Italian way, which is simply using pasta, pecorino cheese, pasta water, and pepper. That's it. And there is a sort of way of doing it. So I've been doing a little bit of research on that. We've also been gifted more rhubarb. More rhubarb. We're eating a lot of rhubarb at the moment, which is fine by me. As I've said before, rhubarb requires some sweetening. So I don't want to be eating too much sugar. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to freeze it for the winter so we can enjoy it throughout the winter months. Anything else been happening? Just trying to think. I've been sort of just trying to go at my own pace for the past couple of days and not put any demands on myself. Nothing else to report, I don't think. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is a little mini project. Well, I say it's a mini project. It's not that difficult to do because I've done it many times before. But it is to swap this room with the dining room. So effectively, the main part of the job is to move this table, which has to be dismantled if it's to go through this door here, and having the dining room in here with a chair, but move this sofa, which is actually one sofa set, old vintage habitat, into here to create a snug for the new season. And like I say, the issue is this table has to be dismantled, which is in about 4 parts. Not too hard to do. Make this the dining room for a change for the new season. When we moved in, this doorway was actually a set of shelves. So it was actually plasterboarded from here all the way around, and then shelves were in here. So when we moved in, the doorway through from the kitchen to what is the dining room was here, behind here. Literally the first week we moved in, we realised that it was actually an old doorway, probably the original back door, to the outside, because this is all an extension. We realised it was just blocked up with plasterboard, so we removed it very quickly, bought a cheap door, because we had cats at the time, and if we wanted to sit in this room with the door open, the French window open, we had to stop the cats from going out because they were indoor cats. Yeah, that's a project that I'm thinking of doing. Paul is out all day tomorrow, so he might come back to a changed house. I don't know. Depends on whether I can do that table on my own, because it's quite heavy, that tabletop. And it's quite heavy to to manoeuvre, so I might have to wait for a different day. But yeah, that's one thing on my list. So if I do decide to do that, I will take you along for the ride. See you later. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention that somebody asked me about was the basil plants, whether they're still alive. Do you remember earlier in the season I took some cuttings from the parent plant? Well, they're very much alive. That's the parent plant, still producing, and the 2 cuttings doing beautifully. We've got a regular supply of basil, so we're really pleased. Oh, and there's the new supply of rhubarb from another plot neighbour. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going rhubarb mad this week with things. Yes, we are going to stew most of it, but I quite fancy making another rhubarb crumble and also perhaps some kind of rhubarb cake. Yeah. Enough. I'll see you later. Morning. It's just gone 9 o'clock. I was up really, really early this morning. I don't know what time it was. Must have been 4, something like that. Couldn't really get back to sleep. That's okay. It's not a problem. So this morning is looking as though it's going to be another beautiful day. Hot, sunny. There is now a little bit of a breeze. I've done some hand washing this morning and I'm about to start work on the driveway because Paul is out with the car. I'm going to weed the driveway and get some cutting back done at the front. So I won't be filming it. I don't normally film out at the front of the house because of passers-by. So I'm going to get on with that. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit flat today, mainly because of all the news. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be specific about it because I'm a little bit paranoid about using certain words in YouTube videos. I don't want to get targeted by the powers that be and risk having the channel shadow banned because that has happened to a few people. I just can't afford to do that. It's my living. I think you all know how we feel about the situation. It's appalling. It's also appalling that peaceful protesters are being arrested. The whole situation at the moment in the world is not good. It's not good. If it continues the way it does, it will end in tears, as they say. Anywho, I'm gonna get on with my day now and not look at the phone for a few hours. I'll see you later. Ooh. So I just got in. It is about 20 past 11. So I've done, I don't know, about an hour and a half, something like that. The driveway is weeded, lavender is cut back, I've left a few flowers on. I'm going to save the harvest. Yeah, driveway weeded, I'm so hot now. Ivy cut back, gravel raked, sorted. That's a job done. Whew, it's a hot one out there. What's the temperature? Bear with. It's registering 37.8, but that's in full sun. So I think it's probably about 29, 30. Yeah, and it's 20 past 11. It's time for a coffee break, a little energy refill, some crackers or something, and a little rest. Because yeah, that was a good piece of work, but I'm rather hot, and yeah, need a replenish. I'll see you later. No, this is not a style choice. I look like Kel out of Kath and Kim. This is washed hair. I had a lovely bath. And I sort of comb it and put a little bit of gel on just to set it. I haven't run my fingers through it yet. So yeah, had a lovely bath this afternoon. Overdue. So I had a good scrub. You know, when you scrub your whole body to within an inch of its life. Satisfying. What was I going to say? It's gone really dull. Really dull. It's been very, very warm. But it's clouded over. There's a little bit of a breeze. And it looks like it might rain. And it looks slightly stormy. They did say we might have a little thunderstorm at some point, but just, you know, nothing significant. There's no warnings or anything. But I've noticed from the map that Paul's on his way home. We monitor each other on Google Maps. It's really useful. So I'm going to make something to eat, and I'm thinking of roasting some vegetables, even though it's really warm. I'm thinking of putting the oven on. Richard, really? Could you not do something easier? But I really fancy some roasted vegetables with maybe some rice or pasta and maybe a little tomato sauce. I'll cheat with that because we've got some in stock. Some jars. Come with me into the kitchen. I've just emptied the dishwasher. Very breezy all of a sudden. Come with me and I'll throw something together. See how dim it is. Normally we have evening sun coming in this window here. But I just need to have a little tidy up. Look at the rhubarb. The second lot. Gosh. And we've processed some of that as well. Right, let me set you down somewhere, get some lights on and get some vegetables prepared. As you can see, I'm wearing a sarong because it's the only thing to wear in hot weather. Okay. Get some lights on, clear a bit of space. I love these roasting trays, baking trays, whatever you call them. Stainless steel, they come up lovely, whether you clean them by hand or not. We've had them for a number of years now and we use them for loads of different things and they're just perfect. They clean up so well. I do like a clean roasting tin. I hope this sarong doesn't fall off. They do have a habit of doing that. And I've got nothing on underneath. I'm doing a bit of a Nigella now, aren't I? No, Richard, don't do any more. Right, carrots. I've got a few little carrots there to use up. Some onion. Love an onion roasted. Oh, there's a potato there. Use that, I'll have that. There's a pepper that has seen better days. It's got a little bit of softness on it. I'm just going to cut that off, wash it and cut it off. So unfortunately that other pepper was really mouldy inside, so that had to get thrown. It's now in the peely bin. So I've got some tomatoes as well. I've added a couple of extra carrots. I think the thing about roasting vegetables is to sort of make sure that most of them are an even size. I usually quarter onions to roast them. Better put the oven on. $180. Might need 2 baking trays, actually. I'm doing the potatoes fairly small. In fact, I might need to do the carrots in a separate one. Maybe I'll do the carrots and tomatoes in a separate, smaller one. Look at that cute. That's the sweet one, huh? Can you see that one? Bit of a mark on there. So I'm going to do my tomatoes and carrots in that one. With the carrots, make them as thin as you can for roasting, because they tend to take quite a long time. Actually, I don't think the tomatoes are going to go in there either. Maybe I won't do the tomatoes. Maybe I'll just do the veg. Yeah, I'm going to leave the tomatoes for another one. Olive oil is required now. Pretty, huh? It normally takes around 35-40 minutes. What I tend to do is go in with my hand and just stir them up. So they get well coated. Okay, I think I'm gonna do couscous for ease. So they're in the oven. I'm going to do some couscous and, like I said before, a little jar of pasta sauce thrown over the top. Delicious. It's feeling really heavy now, the atmosphere. Not only because the oven is on, but I don't know, there's an oppressive feeling in the air. So whether we will get a storm, and I've got a slight, ever so slight headache. So we'll see, we'll see. I suddenly thought there's no protein element. So I've sliced some halloumi, moved the veggies to one side, popped them on, and I'm going to pop this back in the oven. There we are, got my sauce, got my carrots, got my roasted veggies and halloumi. I'm going to plate up and we're going to enjoy this. We're being lazy and having it on our knees. So Paul, what do you think of my couscous, halloumi, roasted vegetable and tomato sauce dish?
It's all right, yeah.
Give you all right.
It's very nice, yes. I haven't even eaten it yet.
No, I'm sure it'll taste lovely.
I can smell it and it's going to taste lovely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Morning. Hand washing. Again. But, you know, the washing machine repair, moves ever closer. I'm not worried about it. I'm not getting concerned about it. You know, people do get their knickers in a twist about these kind of things, but I do sometimes get a little bit fiery about such things, but it's very flash in the pan. It doesn't last for long because I don't believe in getting unnecessarily stressed about those kind of things. There are other things that are on my mind at the moment. The state of the world and all of that. But anyway, I'm going to get on with doing some washing. Today's going to be another cookery day. It's also going to be another warm day, and I'm choosing to do pastry again on a hot day. Well, yesterday with the galette, my pastry was extremely successful because I played by the rules, basically. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. And you'll see that, I don't know when you'll see it, in the next couple of days, I suppose. Today is Wednesday. I'm just getting on with stuff. I haven't even had my breakfast yet, but I've had a quick wash and a freshen up because it's been so warm, so warm. But I'm not complaining. I'm actually quite enjoying it. The garden's suffering though because I'm trying not to water things, only the pots. So the things in the ground just have to get on with it. I don't really want to be using huge amounts of water when we've got a water shortage. We're being told we've got a water shortage. Whether that's the truth or not is another matter. Have to wash, have to do washing, have to do cooking. Hello, Catty. One of the garden cats. I'm going to get on with this now. I'm doing t-shirts. Okay, I'm going to let those soak just while I have my cereal. I try to use minimal amounts of water and I sort of do the sort of pressing down technique, so hopefully the soap penetrates through the fibres. Then I let it soak. Then I do this again, and then I give them 2 rinses in minimal water, cold water. That seems to do absolutely fine. And you know, I've thought to myself, I wonder whether this hand washing, this pressing technique, is actually more effective than tumbling in a washing machine. And it also led me to think the length of time it takes for a wash to do, you know, a proper full cycle, 2 hours or whatever. My friend always says to me, don't do your clothes on a big cycle, do it on a quick cycle, it's just as good, and I'm beginning to believe her now. Because I think I said in a vlog before, you know, our clothes don't get that dirty, do they, really, unless you're working the land, unless you're on the plot like Paul. And I can always tell when I'm washing something that Paul's had on the plot because the water turns grey very quickly. But for regular clothes, regular wear, it's only really things like deodorant stains that need to be paid attention to. Do you know what I mean? Right. They can just sit there for a little while, wash my hands, get rid of any detergent. And I'll put some moisturiser on as well. Time to eat breakfast. Oh, it's already feeling really warm. Rhubarb. So this rhubarb was gifted to us by another plot neighbour. It's actually a little bit stringy. As Paul and I found out the other day. So I think what we're going to do is process it and then make it into a puree by passing it through a sieve. Anyway, I need to eat. I need to eat. There's my notepad for the cookery video. O'clock. 9 o'clock and already very warm. Do you remember these trousers? These are the ones I made out of an old sheet. I don't know whether you can see them. They're big and baggy and perfect for this kind of weather, although they're not terribly flattering. I don't care. Whew. Need to do the windows as well. It looks hot. Still. Still and hazy. I'll see you later. I also wanted to show you this, my Lavender Harvest. So last year I didn't harvest any, I just trimmed it back, but I thought maybe I will harvest it. I was doing the driveway, as I mentioned the other day, and I wanted to trim back the lavender to basically allow passage along the pathway. And I just started trimming it back and thought, oh, it's such a waste, you know. It smells divine, but because it's at the front of the house, I sort of always think, is it sucking up pollution from cars and dust and all of that? So I'd love to say it's fantastic organic lavender, but I may use it to refresh some of my lavender bags, because it does smell absolutely gorgeous. It really does. There were a few flowers still open. And actually what I did was noise outside. Oh God, somebody else cutting something. I did leave a few of the flowers on for the bees because they're still enjoying it. If I do decide to do something with it... Oh, who is that? I thought all the building work and cutting noises had finished. If I do decide to do something with it, I'll bring you along and show you. Better get on with that washing now I've had my breakfast. I've got multiple spider webs to deal with out there before I put the clothes out. A piece of lavender. Yeah. Or a couple of bits of lavender. Just to gently push them out of the way because they're where I want to put the maiden. Sorted. So I'm glad that job is done, out of the way. It is about 9:30, I think now. So it's time to get on with cookery, the next cookery video, which is going to be all about pastry. So what I'm going to do is conclude this video now because I want to get it uploaded, edited and sorted, and I can move on to the next one. It's all go here, all go. Never a dull moment. Work, work, work. And that's how we like it. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't spectacularly sensational, but hey, this is ordinary real life. It really is. So take care. Thanks for your support. I'll see you soon for more cookery.